We're all familiar with Elon Musk at this point. I don't need to tell you who he is or who he pretends to be. He has for years now cultivated a fan base of 14-year-old edgelords and just about anyone who listens to Joe Rogan.
He wants to be seen as a visionary, somewhat like a real-life Tony Stark. The quirky billionaire genius who's going to take humanity to the final frontier and make the world a better place. But to anyone who's been paying attention, Elon seems to be more interested in embarrassing himself publicly and engaging in online Twitter beefs. From turning the platform into an unhinged dumpster fire, what's that already was?
You literally can't escape the OnlyFans bots and alt-right accounts.
And now he's been following Trump around throughout his campaign like a minion. Elon has gone from a tech billionaire to a walking, talking contradiction. Today we are going to break down how he got here and why exactly his influence has been crumbling for the past few years. And why no amount of cool billionaire antics can save his reputation.
And this is where it probably started going downhill for him. You see, in 2002, Elon decided to impulsively buy Twitter for $44 billion.
Because he thought it would make him the free speech hero of the internet and separate him from the rest of his peers. Instead, he turned it from a platform of free speech to one of hate speech.
Again, this is Twitter we are talking about, so it got really bad after he took over.
Or maybe that's what he wanted. Who knows? Since he took over, there's been mass firings and layoffs, including the engineers, the very backbone of the platform itself. The result of that was frequent outages and a broken verification system, and of course, rampant bot activity. Let's not forget his decision to sell the blue checkmarks, which led to impersonations, fake accounts, and of course, crashing stock prices. And as a result, major brands would abandon the platform. And the worst mistake of all, for some reason, he thought rebranding Twitter to X was a good idea. The man is obsessed with the letter X for some reason. It's the equivalent of all these companies, simplifying their logos, except he took it a step further.
Elon thought buying Twitter would make him an untouchable king of the internet.
But it only exposed how little he understands about social media and people in general.
The best thing Elon had going for him was his ability to make people relate to him on a personal level, which is something his peers couldn't achieve.
But you see, the problem is, the more people learn about you, the more they know about you. Elon's memes, if we'll even call it that, are just cringe. Whether it's Dogecoin shilling, desperate attempts to be relatable, and painfully unfunny while missing the point entirely. Like the time he went to Joe Rogan and said he made his rockets pointier because he saw The Dictator. The movie where the guy, the dictator, is an absolute idiot. And he does all this all in an attempt to be more relatable. Despite missing the point that the dictator in that movie is a bumbling buffoon who thinks that making his rockets pointier makes him more powerful and masculine, feeding to his narcissistic ego. Like, bro, we are not laughing with you, we are laughing at you. Whether it's his failed attempts at being funny or on Saturday Night Live to overhyping his own Tesla products. And of course, his boring company hasn't even achieved anything notable as of late.
It's almost like he's not this tech visionary he wants us all to believe he is, but more of a hype man.
When Elon started losing public sentiment, he pivoted to pandering to right-wing groups and conspiracy theorists. From reinstating banned extremists on Twitter to spreading COVID misinformation, and of course engaging with white nationalist accounts. Complaining about immigrants despite illegally migrating into the US himself, and of course claiming to be a champion of free speech while banning journalists and critics that make fun of him. It's obvious at this point he either doesn't care about free speech or he doesn't understand the concept entirely. Even Elon's actual businesses, the ones that actually made him famous, are showing cracks. From recalls to production issues to SpaceX taking the silver medal to NASA state. Elon wanted to be remembered as a genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. But it's safe to say his political pandering, and of course, Twitter debacle would prove otherwise. And while his hardcore audience wouldn't admit it, the rest of the world has simply moved on. Elon is not Tony Stark. He's just another rich guy who let his ego get the best of him.